Welcome to the Unmistakably Magic Podcast. Here's the news recorded November 11th, 2017. Some highlights include new decorations in Hollywood studios, Thor has returned to Disneyland, and new hotels are coming to Universal Orlando. Well, kicking off the news this week, the Carousel of Progress will be the exclusive Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom card handed out at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party this year. Rover's Christmas Carousel of Progress will feature the VR playing dog from the Carousel of Progress, and guests to the party will be able to pick up the card at the Firehouse on Main Street, USA. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party began actually 2 days ago on November 9th. Well, Hollywood Studios has gotten some new decorations. Echo Lake has received Christmas decorations for the very first time, and they include some giant glowing Christmas ornaments, a Christmas tree, and festive plaques. The dinosaur, the name escapes me. I don't know, I don't go to Disney World enough to remember the name of everything there, although I should. But the dinosaur has some garland hanging out with a big red Christmas ornament hanging out of its mouth, and I think that's awesome. It needs to happen more. Well, Thor has returned to the Disneyland Resort, and this time he brought Loki with him. Thor and Loki are both meeting at California Adventure over in Hollywoodland. This not only marks the return of Thor, but also the first time Loki has been in an American Disney park. There is no word on how long the appearance will be around for. This is in direct promotion for Thor Ragnarok. And I haven't seen the movie yet, but they do a little intro before Thor and Loki start their meet and greet, and it's pretty cool. I think it shows the game master. I forget his name. I haven't seen the movie, but I believe it's Jeff Goldblum, his character, and it features him, and it shows Thor and Loki kind of being Thor and Loki, I guess. And then they go off to the side and have a little meet and greet. This is back in Hollywoodland, kind of over where, well, it's right by Monsters, Inc., Mike and Sully to the rescue. And it's on that stage right over there, and then they kind of walk off stage, and then they go to a little door backdrop, Disney wall, and have their meet and greet right there. And I think it's really cool, and I want to see more Marvel characters. I mean, we're obviously going to see more because it's going to be Marvel Land over there. It's no longer going to be Hollywood Land. And I think this is a really cool introduction of Loki. I just hope we get to see maybe like Odin pop in. That'd be sweet. Or some other of Thor's kind of warrior group. I don't know, I'm not the biggest Thor fan, so I don't know the names of all of the Asgardian warriors. But I think it'd be really cool to incorporate more kind of lesser known characters, but still favorite characters to the franchises. I know we've seen a Star-Lord and Gamora meet and greet and Groot. But what about like Rocket or what's the dude's name who takes everything way too literally? I forget his name. But fingers crossed that when Infinity War comes out, or shortly before or shortly after, we get a Thanos meet and greet. That would be awesome. Well, Jessie and Rex have both arrived at Toy Story Land over at Hollywood Studios over at Walt Disney World. Rex and Jessie decided to help Andy build a roller coaster by stringing up lights on towers of blocks. However, Rex ended up getting a little tangled up. But don't worry, Jessie is nearby to help him out. Toy Story Land opens in summer of 2018. So you can see the statues of Jessie and Rex on the roller coaster. They're within a helix, very close to each other, and it's really cool seeing them show up and seeing more Toy Story characters get incorporated into the land than we first thought. However, I am curious if this will mean that we won't get a Jessie or Rex meet and greet. It'd be a little weird if we got a meet and greet with Jessie right after we got off of Slinky Dog's coaster, and Jessie standing right out there, and you can see the static figure of her standing off in the distance. Well, wrapping up this very short and light news week this week is some actually rather big news coming out of Universal Orlando, and I think this is 100% what they need at that resort right now. Surprised it took them this long to do this, but I think this will definitely benefit their resort, and I hope we see more parks take this kind of route. Mostly because I'm a broke college kid and I enjoy going to theme parks for a hobby, and one of the most expensive parts is finding a hotel. And Universal Orlando will be opening 2 new hotels on the site formerly occupied by Wet n Wild. The 2 hotels will be open in the summer of 2019. That's less than 2 years. We are pretty much at the end of 2017 right now. These 2 new hotels are going to be coming up in basically a year and a half. And that's incredible. And I can guarantee you they're shooting for a beginning of summer opening date. But both hotels will feature a combined 2,800 guest rooms, as well as a combined 3 pools, 2 food courts, some nearby coffee bars, some fitness rooms, and a car rental facilities, and more. So I'm curious to see if I can rent cars at these hotels, because they are a little bit away from the actual theme parks. However, Universal is still providing complimentary transportation to and from the parks, to and from City Walk, and you're still getting all the perks of staying on a normal on-site hotel. So you're getting early access, you're getting every perk that Universal Hotel guests currently get. Whether you're staying at Cabana Bay or Hard Rock Hotel or the upcoming Aventura Hotel, or these 2 new hotels that are yet to be named, you're getting all the same perks across the board, except unless you're staying at a deluxe resort, then you're getting Express Pass included with your resort and admission, so they throw that in as a little more incentive. So you're not going to get that here, because the 2 new hotels they'll start accepting reservations in early 2018, but they're going to start at less than $100 per night. Just let that sink in for a little bit. Less than $100 per night. 2 hotels right next to each other. Amazing amenities. All the perks of staying on property. You can hardly find value resort hotels at Disney that are they're around $100. They're like $98, $97. In the off season, you're typically going to find them for probably $70, $80 a night, which are still way more than if you're staying off property. However, I think Universal really needs these hotels. The biggest drawback to staying at a Universal resort is they're so expensive. When I've been looking at staying either just 1, maybe 2 nights at Universal, and I can get away with staying 4 nights at a value resort than 2 nights at a Universal resort, even with Cabana Bay. And I thought Cabana Bay was going to be the response or the answer to Universal's resorts being so pricey. But it sounds like these 2 new hotels will be the response to Cabana Bay failing at that, essentially. And I'm stoked to see Universal really tackle this value resort issue, and it's very needed over there, and I hope that it works out. I know this will definitely give me some incentive to stay at Universal, maybe over Disney, depending on what kind of trip I'm looking at. If I'm doing just a couple days at Disney and a couple days at Universal, roughly the same, I'm gonna look over at Universal Resort and over at these two hotels and see if I can stay there for cheaper than staying over at Disney World. And I think that's really necessary over at Universal, and I know I've said it a million times, but I am stoked, and I am really glad that Universal finally addressed this issue. I see, I mean, a lot of people on my Twitterverse who are theme park enthusiasts are super stoked about this, and you know, I agree with them. I'm astounded, and I'm shocked at how, well, not really shocked. It's a Universal timeline of basically a year and a half. These hotels are going to be open. They're going to be accepting reservations pretty much in 2 months, which is astounding. So I'm stoked to see Universal address this issue, and I honestly can't wait to see the quality of these hotels and how it compares to Disney's value resorts. Because the concept art really looks like they're going to be way more upscale and modern than Disney's value resorts. So we'll see. Universal, you might be giving Disney a big run for their money here. Well, thank you for listening to the Unmistakably Magic podcast. Please go ahead and check out our social media. We are at Unmistakably Mag on Twitter, Unmistakably Magic on Instagram, Facebook.com/UnmistakablyMagic. If you like what we are doing here, and you want to support the show a little bit, head over to unmistakablymagic.spreadshirt.com, buy a shirt. If I see you wearing a shirt at a theme park, I will buy you a Mickey bar or equivalent. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any reactions to the news that has dropped on a weekly basis that we bring to you, go ahead and email us with comments or anything like that at unmistakablymagic@gmail.com. Go ahead and search our name on YouTube, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And you can find all of our old shows and the after show that we did for a little bit. And if you don't like listening to just my voice, we have RJ. He's on all of the old shows, most of the old shows, I should say, over on YouTube. And go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes. It would really help us out. As always, a big thank you to our friend Dylan over at Blast Off Branding for making our awesome logo. And go ahead and check out our friends over at the Unmistakably Star Wars podcast. That just about wraps it up this week. So I hope you guys have a magical week, and I'll see you real soon.